Welcome to a BXG production. BXG presents the Nexus of the Universe podcast. I was told by one of our listeners that we might need to tread carefully with the Nexus because that might be owned. I said, I think we'll be okay because nobody knows anything about us.
Except
if we
when
could,
they do.
Yeah, except for when they do. But I would actually be happy to get a cease and desist order from an agency that said that, hey, you can't do this. And I would throw that on our Instagram. Yeah, me too. I would throw it on our Instagram and say, look at these people picking on the little guy. And that would be great for business.
Yep.
But I am one of your hosts, the Alpha Donut Guy, alongside my co-host, Gregory T. Filson the third. And the T is for tumultuous, obviously.
Yes.
Greg, how are we?
We're good. Yeah, we're well. Yeah, I mean, not a ton to report. I just feeling the vibes of the first place Pittsburgh Pirates, 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. So I feel like throw a little respect on their name, everybody. Feel good about this team. Really like it. It's got a good swagger. I love that. One thing I love about baseball just in general this year, besides the speed of it, which is incredible, and it just seems more pure, it seems better. I think most people agree on that end. But the thing that I'm really digging about this season is like all the random stuff. Like the Pirates are like the swashbuckler and they have the sword. And like I saw, you just see like the Angels have like the Shaolin hat or whatever, like for Ohtani, and it's like that's cool. And it's like it makes baseball fun, which is like that's what it is. I mean, baseball is just pure fun. It's It's like you're a little kid when you play baseball, and you never really stop being a little kid when you're a major leaguer. And so I've had a really, I just really enjoyed baseball in general. I've watched so much baseball this year. It really helps. Like ESPN Plus has a game every day, and I'll just put on like a couple of games of that. So no, I'm stoked. I like that. I mean, I'm watching the NFL draft and the NBA playoffs right now. It's just a great sports time.
You're a little gargly. I don't know what it is.
Gargly.
Yeah, you're
gargly.
You're a little crackly or something. I'm not sure.
Let me. Sometimes yes. Put it back in. Is that better?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It won't matter. I use that smoothing program out anyway to try to make you sound less like yourself.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah. Sometimes he's got to pop them out and pop them back in. Yeah, that's what she said.
Beat me to
it. How are you?
I was moving to the button.
How are you?
I'm mostly good. I mean, we can never be the whole way good, can we? No, we can't is the answer. But just a quick rant. People, I don't know if it's a rant really, or just maybe a series of statements. People need to stop acting like they are owed something. And they also need to stop acting like people in general. This is society in general. I'm not naming names. I'm not giving any specifics, but people need to stop acting like they're owed something. And people need to stop acting like when they don't get the things that they're not owed, like victims. And I understand. I understand that is probably a bitter pill to swallow for some people. But the world doesn't owe you anything. And like we are technically millennials. Like we're on the very front end of that.
We're not the old, like 80, I think it's 81.
Yeah, but we're on 85. The very front of that. But
yeah, we're still like elder.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very millennial attitude. And maybe what's the latest one?
Gen Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of just this like, well, I mowed something. And like, oh my goodness, like, oh, my mental health is suffering and I need to take care of myself with my well-paying job and house that I own and 2 cars. And like, I get it that everybody has their stuff or whatever, but sometimes people just need to suck it the fuck up, because like,
Amen, friend.
If your problem is like, oh no, oh, I don't like the thing my boss said to me, tear,
right?
Just one single tear, nobody, like, I don't need to hear about it on my social media feeds. I go to social media for memes, sports, and to see what cool stuff my friends are doing. And when I go through people's like stories, and it's like, you need to let you need to let yourself know that you're worth it. Like, if you need to say that to other people when you're really saying it to yourself, I got news for you.
Yeah.
You're not worth it.
So you're not a fan of my mental health journeys. Yeah, man.
It's just everybody, like, I don't know. I guess, like, maybe I'm more of just like a suffer in silence kind of person. I mean, we joke a lot on here about like, oh my God, kill me, like, oh,
right.
I could do this, or I'd rather be boiled in acid. But that's the thing; those are jokes. Those are jokes. Okay.
We list this as a comedy podcast for people. Just
do we? I think
it's
not.
As
it should be. Good gracious! If anybody's taking us seriously, that's scary.
This is the thing. I mean, anyone that knows us ever, like when you and I are in the same room or now, in the same podcast space, if you have ever taken us seriously together, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm a grown man and I'm about to drink a little huggy.
Hell yeah.
That doesn't scream, take me seriously.
I mean, I'm a grown man, and I ordered a baseball jersey for myself. Like, that's around.
I do that once a year.
That's fair. But I was like anticipating. I couldn't wait for it to be delivered. Like, I was tracking it.
I just buy mine at the stadium. But it's just like, I don't know. I just like every day I get closer and closer and closer to just saying fuck it and moving into the woods and just being a subsistence farmer that just thrives by the light of the day, and like our ancestors did. But that's neither here nor there. I just, people are the worst and they need to get over themselves.
Yes.
Nobody owes you anything. Yep. You're not a victim because you didn't get what you want. If you want something, go out and take it like a fucking pirate. Full circle. See what I did there?
Yeah. Arr.
So anyway, other than that, people are the worst, man. Say what you want about Louis C.K. and his habits or his free, what's that word? Like, if you're predicated, like his predilections, that's not a word.
Yeah.
Might be a word to describe what he's into. But
yeah, it could be.
Say what you will about his hobbies, but the man had it right when he said we're the worst people so far. We really are.
Isn't that always the case though? Like, it just it builds and builds.
I don't know, man. I like the era of like Michelangelo and stuff. Like, they had it. They knew what was up.
Well, we only know the greatest of that era. Yeah, we only know the greatest of that. The teenage. Yeah, you are right. The late '80s with Leonardo
Right.
and Michelangelo, Donatello.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know back in like the Renaissance era why we didn't know about everybody and we only know
the
about the famous?
Renaissance?
Why we know about the great people and not the average people?
Their Twitter.
Because there wasn't Instagram.
I would have loved to see like some fire Michelangelo tweet.
I don't even just like what's
so sick.
What's John the blacksmith up to? That's what I would want to know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is John the blacksmith would be like, man, I made these swords and nobody buys them. Like where the world owes me something here.
He puts it on.
Well, maybe you should make your swords sharper, motherfucker.
Yeah. Make them custom.
This is well. I think they. Steelers trade up to 14 10 minutes ago. Whatever. I don't even know what they're in the market for. I'm going to put this down because I'm going to be getting alerts all night, and I don't want to because I actually don't really give a shit about the NFL draft. So 6-pack tonight. We're all over the place. We've got a lot of movies to talk about. We got a lot of new TV shows to talk about. I'm going to talk a little bit. I mean, you can, if you have any thing to input, but I'm going to talk a little games stuff.
Okay.
We're going to talk a little sports, and then we're going to talk about the biggest phenomenon in pop culture these days, which is politics.
Great.
Because, well, I'll get to that when we get there. I'll get to that. But the first thing, and this is just very briefly that I wanted to touch on, that's what she said. If you want my full thoughts on this, you can actually head over to our lightly used Substack and check out my little essay there on the competition and management administration in the UK has blocked the $69 billion Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. This has been ongoing now for this merger, and then the various parties who are trying to say how this merger would be bad for folks in the gaming space. Sony is leading the charge, has been leading the charge on that, mainly due to their concern over Microsoft being given access to Call of Duty as a potential exclusive, as Call of Duty is owned by Activision Blizzard. It is on a rotating schedule between 3 different developers, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch, and they just pump them out, and they are pretty routinely the best-selling game of the year each year that they each year that they drop, unless there's like a Grand Theft Auto or the like. But that's where Sony's been at, is beating the drum against the potentially losing Call of Duty as a place on their platform, despite the fact that Microsoft has assured everyone that it would not be financially viable for them to take Call of Duty off of PlayStation hardware, mainly due to the fact that it's where the bulk of players play. And this isn't like Sony buying Insomniac for $250 million, 5 or 6 years ago, whenever it was. Like, this is $69 billion, so it's a lot of money.
Nice.
And the CMA over in the United Kingdom blocked this. This is their decision, their final decision. This isn't just like this is the ruling of that body. And they stated that the reason why was because of Microsoft's ability to keep things exclusive via cloud gaming. And I get kind of into the weeds of that in the article that I wrote about like cloud gaming, the future of cloud gaming, the promises that they didn't make towards cloud gaming. And because it came down to cloud gaming, and everybody who's an Xbox fan wants to look at Sony as the big bad wolf here, but I don't think that's the case, because there are two companies, two tech giants who both launched and failed cloud gaming systems and services in the past couple of years, with Google and Stadia and Amazon with Luna. And so I think they're really the people who push this in this direction to get this deal blocked. I don't think that Sony is certainly in the footnotes of this blockage. They've been the one banging the drum the loudest, but there's been a lot of reporting over the past several months that Google really is who amped up their opposition in various places towards this deal. So Microsoft said that they're going to appeal it, which is expected. They released their statements, and even some of their statements were like, some of the verbiage in it was very strange to me personally. And that's probably because I'm in this, ecosystem as far as gaming goes, and paying attention to things. And it's a lot of the times, if you look at how they word things through their PR statements, regardless of who it is, Sony, Xbox, Nintendo, whatever, they say things very deliberately and for a reason. And the reason that they say the things that they do is often, there's some PR training and there's some double speak and things like that. But some of the things that they said really stuck out to me. But again, if you want to get deeper into the weeds with that, you can go over on our Substack and check out the piece that I wrote. Do you have anything to add to that? Or
I read it. And for someone who doesn't know anything about it, I thought you'd honestly, this is just praise. This isn't anything. I thought it was really well done. I mean, you definitely put in the work. So I would just recommend checking it out, because I don't know about this stuff. I wouldn't say I don't care. It's interesting to me. All this kind of stuff. This is the thing about me, is I could be interested in anything if the research is there, and if there's some a little bit of shady business, I'm in on it.
Yeah, well, there's certainly some hassle injury.
I like this.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was really well done, Brendan. So good for you. I will say that I want to write more. I have just been tirelessly unmotivated lately, because I write a lot of things for my job, and it takes a lot of energy out of me. It's not anything against that. It's just the job. It's good. It's good for that purpose of doing things, and that's where my creativity is. But I am hoping this summer to get back into it a little bit more pre-wedding. I'll probably have a funny wedding thing too that I want to do. So look forward to that.
Easy. Now,
I haven't done it yet. I may do it. If this doesn't work out, probably I will do it.
Politics.
Let's do it. Finally. It's what everybody's been anticipating on our show, is us talking about politics.
Here's the thing. You and I had this conversation with our friend Ty in our group text. I made the statement that CNN it pushes pop culture more than we do, and we are a pop culture podcast.
Sure.
And let me tell you why. Okay. This was the big example. It's what, 2023, right? Yeah. Are fungal viruses, is that new to this year? It's never happened before? I mean, I'm not a scientist.
I would imagine it's not new.
Right. It's not new.
Imagine that it's not new.
It's weird. It's weird to me that CNN started reporting on fungal viruses when the biggest show on television through the first 3 months of the year was about a fungal virus that was basically an apocalypse. It's crazy to me. Meanwhile, okay.
Back at the farm,
World War III, we're still on the brink of World War III. right? With Russia and the Ukraine. That's still a thing. It hasn't gone away. There wasn't a peace treaty signed. But nobody gives a shit anymore. Do you know what I don't see reported on anymore? Being on the verge of World War III. The right. Doomsday Clock. If you're not familiar with the Doomsday Clock, I read a piece on this, I don't know, a couple months ago, but the Doomsday Clock, that there's a group of people who convene every now and again, and they make adjustments to what is referred to as the Doomsday Clock. And the Doomsday Clock is minutes, minutes, seconds, hours, whatever, until an irreversible cataclysm that would create an apocalypse throughout the world. And it was originally because of the nuclear arms race. Well, now we're in a similar, we're not in a nuclear arms race, but we've got this madman across the pond here who just throws it out like he's the kid on the playground whose dad already has a PS6. You know what I mean? He's like, well, I got these dudes. Yes. Fuck it.
What's up?
Maybe we'll see. Yeah, who knows? We'll see. I'm feeling foggy. Maybe it's time to, I'm hitting my hands over the button. And so the Doomsday Clock shifted from 10 minutes to midnight being the basically the final countdown, Europe style. Not the continent. Yes, the band. Shifted from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. Like that's a
big jump.
That's a big deal. We're not talking about it anymore. You know what I mean?
Why? Why talk?
And so this is what I mean. I'll give you a further example. I like to check all the sites, not for content, just for headlines. Okay. Disney. Oh my goodness, the Disney and DeSantis thing. Constantly. If you go halfway down the page, I'm on CNN. If you go halfway down the page, you see an update on the war. But here's the thing is there's an update on the war. Russia emptied out a Crimea base, satellite imagery shows. What's the next headline? Brittany Griner says she'll never go overseas again unless it's for the Olympics.
Yep.
So the reason that we're bringing all this up in terms of pop culture is because in the past week, I believe it was on the same day, or at least one day apart, two of the biggest names on the two biggest networks, so CNN and Fox, were let go. And some people said that on Fox's side, Tucker Carlson chose to exit. And I can tell you that he chose to exit because he was told to choose that.
Yeah.
And I saw
choose your own adventure, but there's no choice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's it's a choose your own adventure, but there's no jump to page. It's just like page 1, jump to page 2, then jump to page 3. For the deal. And Dawn Lemon was just straight up fired from CNN. So I have some thoughts on this. I know you had some thoughts on this. So why don't we take your thoughts here first? I've been talking.
So I know that recent reports have come out with the Tucker Carlson thing. Like he threw some stuff around, called people certain things, and that's why he was fired. Now, this is coming from a network that supported a candidate that, literally said he'd grab women by certain things and has said just outlandish things. So I find it hard to believe that they fired him because he called somebody toots. I'm having a little problem with that. I personally believe, and this is my conspiracy theory, is when they made that deal with Dominion, during that whole thing, that there was a handshake agreement that we're going to do this and not get as much money as we want, but you need to kick this guy out because he makes them a lot of money. He makes them a ton of money. It is, no matter what you think of him, he brought in the cash to Fox for whatever reason, mostly because he just said whatever. And whether he believed it or not, well, he didn't believe it. That's like, well, wait, it's proven that he's, like we know he hasn't believed a lot of the stuff he said. So that's my theory. I've seen that sort of thrown around a lot. I'm not going to say I was the first person to like say it. I don't know, but I definitely the second it happened, I was like, I said out loud, I was just like, oh, it's because of the Dominion thing.
So a little bit of background on that. The Dominion thing is a defamation suit.
Yeah.
By the Dominion who was behind the voting machines that were allegedly faulty, we'll say.
Right.
They're not. And that's been proven time and time again. We're not stating our opinion. That's factual. It's been proven over and over again, regardless of what side you're on. And Fox News, and specifically Mr. Carlson, continued to propagate the falsehoods that these were faulty and the election was stolen. And as you're saying, recent reporting shows that he was well aware of the fact that that was not the case via text messages, that he knew that everything was legit, but he continued to press his angle. But sorry to jump in.
No, that's fine. I'm glad you did. So that is my thoughts on him. And whatever beyond that, I just don't find. Like I hate to say I casually throw around the word toots, but that's almost what it sounded like. They threw around it was like.
I mean, you could say a lot of.
But you know what I mean.
Worse than toots.
Right, but you know what I mean. It's this idea that like, oh, well, yeah, no, but you know what I mean. It was that idea like someone. It was like you said at the beginning, like, oh, you know what? I've heard the jobs people have called me things before. You know what I mean? In the heat of the moment or whatever. And and it's just happened. It has just happened. Right. And people have said things to me or, whatever. And things have happened. And I'm just going to say that. That's all I'll say.
Here's what I'll say. Oh, wait. No. I don't have to on your toes. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. So that I found, and when they reported that, which was like, it came from Fox. So like, of course they're going to say this stuff. Like they don't want to make it seem like it was a handshake agreement, which I love that.
The handshake agreement?
I love a handshake agreement. Oh, that's like that. That's the kind of stuff that just like keeps my heart pumping. Knowing that there's still these like, mafia handshake agreements about like, you get this guy out, we're not going to ask for this because we know he makes you $500 million a year. And it's worth it for us, for you to lose it. I don't know who's going to replace him or anything. I can't imagine it'll be the presence, but you just never know. Jenny and I were joking around about like different people. There's people out there that could bring in some serious numbers, but you just don't know. On the Don Lemon,
Alex Jones.
That was the number one.
If we're gonna go just full batshit crazy, that's the move.
Yeah, that's the move. I hate to have his name come out of my mouth, but
I'll say it for you.
Yeah,
it's fine.
On the Don Lemon thing, I think like CNN just has lost a lot of luster, and I'll be honest, I think Don Lemon is not like. He doesn't really do anything. He doesn't move the meter. He's boring to some degree, I think, in this spell of things. And because CNN is just that, they're the forgotten middle child, right? You have Fox that has like insane numbers, just crazy numbers. They put up the ratings. And you have MSNBC who has Rachel Maddow, and like she puts up crazy numbers. Other people put up good numbers on MSNBC. Funny thing is that Tucker and Rachel Maddow are actually friends in real life. And I look at all this, Brendan, and I think you might agree. It reminds me of like good old fashioned WWE.
A little bit, yeah.
None of this is real. None of this is real.
Yeah.
It's all a show. They're screaming into cameras. They're taking creamers and they're.
Where do they come from?
Where do they keep coming from? They're talking about creamers. They're just calling people out. It's like. It's the WWE, but nobody actually gets hit. And And so that was like my biggest thing is like Don Lemon doesn't move the meter for anyone. He exists. I'm sure he's a pleasant person.
What is that? Is that a teddy bear? What are you sitting beside?
Which side?
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Okay, that's a pig.
It's Tuna the dog.
Oh, Jesus! I thought it was a pig. Okay.
Yeah, it's like this.
The ugliest dog in the world.
He's not, I don't know if it's the ugliest dog, but
no, it's not even that. It's something that was beside it.
Oh,
yeah, this guy. Oh, okay. Yeah,
we like our stuffed animals on our couch. And
that reminds me. I want to show you something later.
Good. That's what she said.
Anyhow. Again.
He just doesn't move the meter, and so like I'm not surprised. I think I think this is a pivotal point for CNN where they have to do something big.
Maybe they should start reporting news.
Oh, that you stole my joke. I was like, maybe what they should do is just be a news organization.
Yeah.
Not take a side. Just say, here's what happened.
That's not possible.
Like,
it's not possible to not take a side unless you're on like PBS.
Yeah. And I, as someone who went to school for journalism, takes this insanely seriously. Like I take this way more seriously than I probably should, because I was brought up in this, right before the internet really exploded on this stuff. They like happened right about the end and exploded in the worst possible way.
It really has. Yeah.
And, it was like, it used to be like fair and balanced, and you had to have, minimum 3 sources. But honestly, if you could have 6 sources, get both sides, hear the angles. Your reporting needs to be unbiased. No one should be able to know your political party by anything that you write or say. And I was adamant about this. I was so adamant about this that like I didn't vote.
Oh, journalism, kids.
Yeah. I did not vote during that period of time. Whenever anybody thinks about that, it's like I had to be neutral, and I took myself very seriously in this. And I, like, if someone, if it was something where I had to write something about this again, I would still take that road if I had to write about it. We talk about it. It's like, it is what it is. But I mean, at this point, we know everybody's political side, and I hate it. Like, I hate it. I would love to just read an article that is straight down the middle. Like I said, PBS is like almost, it's the example of this.
Yeah.
Here's the facts. Figure it out yourself.
Formulate your own opinion.
Why we can't.
Yeah.
And the reason why we can't, and it goes back to your point earlier, is people are terrible, but people are also dumb.
Yeah, they can't think for themselves.
They can't.
It's a lot of work.
And I'm saying that's on both sides. It's on both sides.
Yeah, it is.
Easily on both sides. They can't make a decision for themselves, and it doesn't matter. And it's sad. I mean, so for me, all of this was just a culmination of like, this is sad and this sucks. But also, I'm very interested in what Fox decides to do next, because if it is AJ,
it's not going to be. He's way.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Guy's going to put up the best viewership ever. It would be insane.
God.
Everybody would watch that. Everybody would watch that.
I'm going to tell you why I think that everyone's celebrating him, Tucker Carlson. Not everyone, obviously, but a lot of people, a lot of left-leaning people are celebrating Tucker Carlson. I want to read you one thing first. And then I'm even going to tell you why this is actually a bad thing. There was there was a defamation case against Tucker Carlson. Case was brought by former Playboy model Karen McDougal, who alleged she had a 10-month affair with Donald Trump after meeting him in 2006, and subsequently sold her story to the National Enquirer. And McDougal alleged that Tucker Carlson defamed her when discussing on air in 2018, telling his viewers that McDougal was soliciting a ransom in what sounds like a classic case of extortion. The case got dismissed, and this was part of the judge's written opinion. In the context of Tucker Carlson tonight, the court finds that Mr. Carlson's invocation of, quote, extortion against Ms. McDougal is non-actionable hyperbole intended to frame The debate in the guest commentator segment that followed Mr. Carlson's soliloquy, as a defendant notes, Mr. Carlson himself aims to, quote, challenge political correctness and media bias, end quote. This general tenor of the show should inform a viewer that he is not, quote, stating actual facts, end quote, about the topics he discusses, and instead engaging in, quote, exaggeration, end quote, and, quote, non-literal commentary, end quote. Given Mr. Carlson's reputation, any reasonable viewer arrives with an appropriate amount of skepticism. A federal judge wrote that. And this is when he had small, granted, some measure of accountability over his head. Mm-hmm. What now? Free speech is a motherfucker, and a lot of people like this guy.
Yep.
Who's to say he's not on? Okay, this is the Tucker Carlson YouTube channel. This is the Tucker Carlson podcast. This is the Tucker Carlson newsletter. And now he is completely unshackled. Now, granted, the shackles were pretty goddamn loose to begin with.
The key was just over there, you know.
He might have been able to, you know, go on a nice little constitutional every now and again. But the fact of the matter is that there was some level of accountability. And now, nothing. And this is a guy who's worked for CNN, who's worked for MSNBC, who had a show on PBS, and then Fox. And he will evolve, or rather, I would say a better word would be mutate, into whatever he sees fit for his, like a virus, for his own survival. And I think that everyone who is, you know, waving the victory flags about this is going to be really upset when he's pushing Joe Rogan podcast numbers and just spouting complete fucking insanity. And people who are on board with this are like, that makes sense to me. Tucker Carlson said it.
Yeah.
With that being said, on the Tucker Carlson side, on the Don Lemon side, no official reason was given as to why he was dismissed. There were statements. He started doing the morning show at CNN. He made some on-air comments about Nikki Haley, one of the Republican presidential candidates. She's the ambassador to the United Nations under President Trump. He apologized, but there was no official reason
right
for his dismissal. I've also not a big Don Lemon guy. I thought that he was a sensationalist. I thought that he was realistically, he's dealing more in the realm of facts, but not a whole lot different than the other guy here. I think that you actually hit the nail right on the head when you said that this is just, it's WWE, you know. The only difference is you said no one actually gets hit, but that's not true, because you know who gets hit? America.
America does get hit.
More specifically, with a steel folding chair, and more specifically, just like, you know, the Constitution.
Yeah, the Constitution
of the United
really
States.
badly.
And I think that, you know,
I just see like them ripping it up.
Yeah,
just like
right. Well, they're just, you know, they look at each other and they said to themselves, "We're going to steal the Declaration of Independence," but it's all just figurative.
Metaphor, yeah.
It's all metaphorical.
Yep.
Now, Don Lemon, 17 years at CNN. I don't think that he necessarily has the panache, the following to make a big splash like Tucker Carlson. Because the other thing about Tucker Carlson is that he's a divisive, a divisive person. And those are the type of people who usually gain followings. And there's enough people on the other side that just hate listen to him. You know what I mean? Like, this guy, better listen to see what he's up to. You know what I mean? Don Lemon, it could be said that, this could be, in fact, his cup of coffee in the big time.
Yeah?
Cup of coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Freak out. Cream rises to the top. Hey, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going for you. Oil. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Last week we talked about I don't even remember what we talked about. We talked about some of the best-selling movies of all time. We talked about we talked about the potential for a Nintendo cinematic universe, but what we didn't talk about is all of the announcements in terms of new TV series that are, and this isn't, these aren't like, confirm The Last of Us season 2 or, whatever, or news as to that regard. This is all incoming stuff. And then there's also a slew of movies that we're going to get to. But let's talk about some of these new TV shows that have either been announced or in talks at various networks across the television sphere here. The first one, I would say, arguably, of this list of things that we have here, probably the biggest, Warner Brothers, and it's called Max now. It's not HBO Max anymore. It's Max, but HBO. Have come to a 10-year agreement for 7 seasons of a Harry Potter reboot series, all new cast, to rechronicle.
Do it. Let's run it back.
The adventures of Harry, Ron, Hermione, and others on HBO. Now, you and I talked about this when it happened. This was during our hiatus, but we talked about this when it happened. Neither of us were big proponents of this. Have your thoughts changed at all?
I don't care about this at all. Like, I mean, I think the books are good. I don't think there is this amazing thing a lot of people think. That's fine. It just isn't necessary. I'm not a big, number one, I'm just not a big fantasy person to begin with. I'm just not. But they're fine. Book 2 is terrible. The second movie is terrible. I will go to the grave with that.
Yeah, agreed. Both of those. I've read the series twice. So
yeah, and we have a friend who thinks they're the best.
That's
the movie, and it's crazy. So, but on that,
let me ask you this question: Is that person really your friend then?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So,
okay. Well,
what I will say,
you gotta cut toxic people out of your life, Greg.
Yeah, but
and with that being said, we had a great run. And
yeah, Leon, it was a good lot lasted.
Good.
Signing up.
Kidding.
So no, I don't care because I think the movies are fairly good adaptation of it. Because I read it when I was 30. I had never read these or watched the movies. I didn't care. And then Jane's like, you should read them. If you don't like them, it's fine. But give them a shot. And so I finished the second book, and I was like, if the third book is anywhere close to this bad, I'll stop. Third book's good. Mm-hmm. But I watched the movies, right? I'd read the book, we'd watch the movie. Read the book, and I thought they were pretty solid adaptations of it. I'm not they're not, nothing's ever going to be the same, obviously. But I think it's solid adaptation. I don't need it to get I don't need in this storyline pushed across 10 years and 7 seasons of TV. I mean, I'm sure it'll get numbers.
Oh,
but I'm sure it'll get great numbers. But it's like, I personally don't care at all. I just don't. It has nothing. I will say, has nothing to do with I don't. It has nothing to do with J.K. Rowling. Honestly, I don't care. Like her, like, she's a terrible person. Whatever.
Is she?
Is she? I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, if she is or she isn't, this has nothing to do on my opinion. I just don't need more of this. This is like, move on from it. I just don't need it. What I would like is something new. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But
I think that this is just here's where I'm at with this, is that I'm not in favor of it. And I think that, like you said, the movies there's a lot of book series that get adapted into movie series. And I think that one really good example is the Percy Jackson series, which is a really, really well-regarded young adult book series. And it just flopped in the films. And I think that the Harry Potter film franchise is as, like, for what they're going for, okay, you're adapting a young adult novels. For what they're going for, I think it's as good of an adaptation as there can be. So they're behind the 8 ball there, number one.
Sure, yeah.
I think that the other thing, and I will admit that in the run of Harry Potter, like when it was like very much in the zeitgeist of pop culture, I went to 2 midnight book releases, book 6 and 7. And like, I think I caught on, it was the 4th book had been released when we were seniors in high school. And that's where I kind of caught on, and like, I just devoured those first 4 books. I just would get in my study halls. I would just get passes to the library every day and just sit in one of the comfortable chairs and read. And it was very much an in the moment thing. And it was crazy how popular. This is like the best selling series of all time. It's a series that sold over 500 million copies. That's insanity.
That's wild.
It's very, 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 very popular. But I do think that, number one, it's too soon. I think the last movie released like 10 years ago, if that sounds, maybe even more recent than that. I don't know. I guess
I don't know, actually, off the top of my head.
Deathly Hallows.
I wanted to say 2011.
Right. 2011. Yep, you're right. So 12 years.
Wow. Oh,
so like, it's still pretty fresh. Yeah, this isn't like, we're going to bring back this really old thing that nobody's alive has even seen. It's not like that. And I think that the casting of the movies was so perfect that they're in an impossible situation trying to cast some of these characters. Alan Rickman is Snape, Severus Snape. They're not going to find someone who's going to do that better. They're not going to find somebody that does better than Daniel Radcliffe. A lot of these people, like, part of the reason that they have to do a whole new cast, a lot of these people are dead,
Yeah.
I think that they've, like, talking to a friend of mine, friend of the program, David S. from Furnace City, Dave Slagle. He's a big Harry Potter guy, which a lot of people are surprised by that because he says bro a lot. But that's where we're kind of in the same mindset, is like the 3 people you have to nail the casting for is Harry, Snape, and Dumbledore. I think you maybe have a little bit more leeway there.
I think you have leeway there. Like, yeah.
It's a hard sell for me on any of these people. And the other thing that I'm very skeptical of is that those first 3 books are not long. And so they're very palatable for a 2.5 hour long movie. You're really not missing anything from any of those 3 books in those movies. The 4 through 7, they get a little bit longer in the tooth in the novels, and they had to cut things out of the movies, which is fine and makes sense. You're going to tell me they're going to make the Philosopher's Stone 8 episodes, 8 hours long. Exactly.
I don't know what you do. Like,
those Quidditch matches better be like the fucking Super Bowl.
This would be like Waker Celtics.
Yeah.
Like
they better go on
the
whole like that better be a whole episode.
That's an episode.
Yeah. And I think that I have to assume that the success of the recent game, Hogwarts Legacy, is probably what maybe pushed this deal over the finish line, just because it did very well. It sold very well. And I think that maybe gave them the confidence of, it's still popular. It's still a thing. But
sure.
I think that they fail to understand that there's never been a good Harry Potter video game. And so, like, for this to be above average, good to, I would say the game, as I have beaten it, I'm just wrapping up trophies and stuff, but it is, I would say it's good to very good. And so, like, but if this game was trash, it wouldn't have done well, but it was good. And so I do think that helped it a lot, but I just think it's too soon more than anything else, let it breathe.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely part of it. It's just too soon.
I don't think I also think
like those actors are all our age. Like that's roughly.
Yeah.
Roughly our age.
Yeah.
They're all millennials. Let's just put it that way. They're all millennials. Right. And so, like, the fact that we're redoing something that millennials did is, like, weird.
Right. And I think that this is maybe, like, a knee-jerk reaction to the fact that the secondary spinoff series hasn't done well. Mm-hmm. And, But anyway, let's move on. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, this is coming from people that are good with Batman happening, but that's different. I will say that's different because, like, there's multiple Batman.
Yeah, Batman's also been around since the 1940s.
Right, but there's multiple I know it sounds weird for everyone to hear that maybe there are weird Batman, there are cool Batman,
there's campy Batmans, there's dark Batman, there's realistic Batman.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, there's Batman with elbows on his bat suit.
Yeah, all those movies and all those comic books are wildly different, and you can actually do that, and for better or worse. For me, like for the most part, for the better. But yeah, I think Harry Potter, there's just Harry Potter.
Right.
I don't have noir Harry Potter.
Right. There's no, like, you're not, there hasn't been a source material where they're going to go, okay, you saw the movies, but now we're going to do the gritty, grounded take on Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, there's Batman runs where he's fighting a guy named Condiment King who literally shoots ketchup and mustard at you. And then there's also Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. So there are levels to this,
and that is different. That is very different.
Those are two very different things. And ketchup and mustard is the grounded and gritty version of The Dark Knight. All right, the second one, and this one is more, maybe possibly even more troubling. And I forget where this is at. I can't remember. I think it might be at Amazon, maybe Hulu. There's potentially a Twilight series also in the mix. Did you ever see those?
I've never seen the movies, and I like the actors in those. I've never seen it. I mean, I love Kristen Stewart. I love Robert Pattinson. I don't care about it.
What about what's the
Jacob Lautner?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know how I don't have my computer out. I don't have anything. I can't believe I pulled that out. I was speaking about this today.
I'm sorry.
I have so much random stuff up here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is that we both know, as we cite this often, that the player that led the hits in the 1990s is Mark Grace.
Yeah.
We both know that. Sometimes I forget. Tonight I made a sandwich with bread that I made today.
Yeah, nice.
I got my turkey out, I got my cheese out, I got my mayo out, and then I promptly looked for 5 minutes where I was like, where the fuck is the mayonnaise?
Yeah.
But by God, Mark Grace.
I'll know Mark Grace the day. That's how you'll know, like, that I've lost it. I'll be like 78, and someone will be like, Greg, who led the 90s in hits? And I'll be like, Alex Rodriguez. And they'll be like, put him down. Take him out the pasture, put him down. He's forgotten.
So Twilight.
Yeah. I don't care about that at all.
Yeah.
That's like
I actually read the first book.
good.
No, not at all.
Oh.
I saw all the movies too because I'm married.
I'm not sure if Jamie has.
Yeah,
That's not something that we've. You know what? That's
they're not
never
good.
come up in discussion. I think.
Yeah, they're bad. The next one on here is the second spinoff for Game of Thrones, and it is on. It's based on the novellas Dunk and Egg. Now I can say that I have read Dunk and Egg. They're very good.
Okay.
And so, like, I know you and I talked a lot of trash leading up to the House of the Dragon, and it was very good also.
It was very good. Yep.
So I have full faith that this will also be very good. And like I said, I've read the source material here, so I can say that the source material is high quality.
I have not, but because House of Dragon was good, I'm fine with this.
It's just now we're getting into the territory of when is there, the same way that there's been Marvel fatigue, Star Wars fatigue, superhero fatigue. You know, at what point do we reach a saturation point with Game of Thrones properties that we're just like, okay, enough is enough. So that's just something to think about. I don't know. I don't think this is it, but
no, they take breaks though. It's like our thing that we said that like Marvel took like 2 years off.
Right. Yeah.
Just 2 years, which isn't that long.
Right.
It probably
what they did.
In interest, but
they kind of They kind of did. They took like 18 months. 18 months.
Yeah, but that was like COVID times. Like a lot of other things like kind of happened. So
yeah,
I don't know. This is the thing too. Is like this is just the third thing of Game of Thrones.
Right.
This is the 25 movies and 12.
12
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I think we have last 25.
Yeah, I don't in that moment, like in that moment, I have no idea what it is now. I know that I'm super pumped about Guardians 3.
Are you? Because I'm not.
Yeah, no, I meant I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
I start movies anymore. But anyhow, that has anything to do.
Yeah, well, we used to do all the movies, and now we don't do any of the movies. I'll tell you one movie we'll be doing though, Oppenheimer.
Oh,
you can bet your ball sack on that one.
Oppenheimer, Barbie, I'm stoked for.
No, I'm not going to see Barbie.
I think Barbie. I mean, I know I've said this, but like Barbie's going to be a good movie. Like I know people like, like Greta Gerwig's a good director.
No, it's not going to be a good movie.
No, I think because
speaking of,
it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It's probably not. New science fiction series from. Go fuck yourself. New science fiction series from Stranger Things creators, the Duffer Brothers, set in New Mexico. They're also working on a Stranger Things animated series. I'm interested to see if they're able to do something that's not Stranger Things that is good. And I didn't watch Stranger Things after was like I'm not interested in this anymore.
I mean, we've watched all of it just because like I feel like we're in it till we do it, but I don't care. Like I'm at this point where it's just like I just don't care. That's basically my biggest thing.
We'll see. I'd like to see some trailers, but we'll see.
Sure.
2 new Ian Rice vampire series over at AMC after the success of Interview with the Vampire. That's interesting. It's like vampire sexy time, basically.
I haven't watched. I heard it was good.
I heard it was good too, but I don't have access to AMC, so I'm just like, wah.
Yeah, I don't either.
Maybe if it comes to Netflix. I'm not going to pay for another plus, for God's sake.
Do you ever think there's going to be this thing where we're going to take all of these networks and put them together in one package?
Yes. It's called cable.
All these. Oh, that's right. We don't like everything all at once for one set price. Instead of forgetting that I had Stars for 2 months because I wanted to watch a movie or something, and
sure.
Free trial, forgot the free trial or something. Yeah.
Oh, that's how they get you. It's 100% how they get you.
I actually say they never bought me. I set alarms on my phone when I do these things.
Good.
But for those out there, I'm good on this. This is one of those things that I am like, You're not going to screw me, whatever company.
Right. Yeah.
Although you tricked me into buying all your services, so I'm paying a ton of money to watch everything.
I'm still cheaper than cable with what I have.
I am also still cheaper than cable, but I have figured out I'm one streaming service away, like a good one, from going over now. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
One solid, if I wanted to get like stars or something,
Yeah,
it would put me over.
Well, you just gotta take something out. You know,
I don't know what I would.
Netflix. Netflix will be the first one to go.
The thing with Netflix,
The Netflix funk.
The thing is, like, Netflix is a thing where they put like they do one thing good, and you're like, fuck, damn, you know. And it's like in the zeitgeist. So beef was beef. Yeah, beef was.
Yeah, beef was Netflix.
Really good. It's really good. It's really good.
I've
watched it.
The last thing on this list of new TV shows is True Detective Night Country, starring Jodie Foster. It gives me Silence of the Lambs vibes. So
yeah, I was gonna say, let's say it sounds like I've been in and out in this show. The first season's awesome.
The first season's one of the best seasons of television ever. Period.
Yeah, 100%. And then it's up and down.
The second one, garbage.
Second season's absolute fire. It's a dumpster fire that also someone took and dumped it.
Yeah,
so
it floats down a flooded hurricane river.
Yeah, it's really fun. Third season's okay. Yeah, but
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, Jodie Foster, awesome. And yeah, like you said, Silence of the Lambs vibe. Give me that. So
moving on, the next two topics here. There was two movie announcement conventions. We had CinemaCon, which is a Paramount thing, and then CinemaCon, Sony participated, Paramount participated, I don't know, maybe some other people. And so I'm gonna go through. I haven't looked at this. I have not looked at Paramount's. I've looked at Sony's, so we'll go through Paramount first. So this is everything announced at Paramount's CinemaCon showcase. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 is releasing on July 12th, 2023, which is up from the original date of July 14th. There's a new trailer and a 20-minute clip from the upcoming film that you can read about on IGN's website. This is where I'm taking this from, is IGN. I don't know why you would want to go see like, oh, here's the trailer, but also 20 minutes of the movie. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Who wants that shit? Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon gets a trailer in Nexus, which stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, and is based on the real events of serial murders of members of the Osage Nation in the 1920s Oklahoma.
It's based off a book by David Grant, too. Just out there for everybody.
Sounds interesting. Transformers 1, which is an animated movie. It's the first animated Transformer movie in over 40 years, and I can guarantee you it won't be as good as the first one. I'll tell you what, not to get too sidetracked, but I was looking at toys the other day, and they put out a Transformers the movie line, and I was like, fuck, take my money.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah. They didn't take my money, though, because I exercise restraint. Transformers 1, animated movie, Chris Hemsworth, ScarJo, Brian Tyree Henry, and more. And this is looking July 19th, 2024. Also, your boy, Keegan-Michael Key, as Bumblebee, and also John Hamm as Sentinel Prime, and Lawrence Fishburne as Alpha Trion. Not to spoil a 40-year-old animated movie, but if they don't kill half the cast of the show in the first 10 minutes, they're not going hard. They're not going hard enough.
Gotta get that hard.
That's how hard you have to go.
Like a ruined kid's lives.
Rihanna will star as Smurfette in the Smurfs movie alongside writing and performing original songs. Writing. I'm sure that she's great at writing.
She does co-write a lot of songs. She does actually co-write
songs. I'm talking about a movie here. I'm talking about a movie. Okay.
Oh, I don't know. She's very
Mutant
creative.
Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, which we were both very high on, debuts the full all-star cast with a new clip. Hannibal Buress is Genghis Frog, Rose Bryn, Leatherhead, John Cena, Rocksteady, Jackie Chan, Splinter, Ice Cube, Superfly, Natasha Demetrio, Wingnut, Ao Adibri, April O'Neil, Giancarlo Esposito, Baxter Stockman, Post Malone as Ray Fillet. We are, of course, if the multiverse's theory is true, we are living in the only universe where Post Malone is not a fry cook. Seth Rogen is Bebop, Paul Rudd, Mondo Gecko, Maya Rudolph, Cynthia Outram, alongside the four younger kids cast as the actual turtles. The last Avatar, The Last Airbender, which is an animated film that is based on very popular animated series. October 10th, 2025. SpongeBob Search for SquarePants and Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie were announced.
We're going to get a Bluey movie.
Bro, the thing about Bluey is episodes are like 7 minutes long. We don't need a Bluey movie. We just need more of those 7-minute episodes. That's all we need.
Okay.
It's that would leave me completely satisfied.
That's what she said.
So new SpongeBob movie will be May 23rd, 2025, and the Paw Patrol movie, the new Paw Patrol movie, which will arrive in theaters September 29th of this year, got a trailer and a confirmation that Chris Rock would make a cameo. Trailer reveal for Bob Marley One Love. Debuted with Ziggy Marley on stage, and that will release in January 12th of 2024. John Krasinski helped share the footage of A Quiet Place Day One, which is based on an original idea he had. Well, good for him.
Good for him. Wow.
What was an original idea?
I think we're like proud of someone who left an original idea. Good for you.
Yeah.
Champ.
And also he has a movie called If, which is a animated movie of some type, which features a all-star cast of voice talent, including Ryan Reynolds, himself, John Krasinski, Fiona Shaw, Kaylee Fleming, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Louis Gossett Jr., Alan Kim, Steve Carell, Bobby Moynihan, Matt Damon, Jon Stewart, Emily Blunt, Maya Rudolph, Sam Rockwell, Sebastian Maniscalco, Christopher Maloney, Richard Jenkins, Awkwafina, and Vince Vaughn. And it is the animated tale about a young girl who can see people's imaginary friends who have been abandoned as they grow older. Do you have any imaginary friends when you were kids?
I never did.
When you were a kid? No. No, me either.
I like made up stories, but it was never like imaginary people. I probably already knew at a young age that I didn't want people around me.
Fair. I miss the days when movies that were animated and acted by voice talent were acted by voice actors who are very talented at their craft, as referenced by many video games. Okay, so that was anything there tickle your fancy, Paramount? No, not really for me. Well, the Scorsese thing.
Well, yeah, but yeah. Why my brain stopped line? But yeah, the Scorsese Flowers.
The Flowers of the Moon. Yeah. Okay. Sony. This is what Sony had to show at CinemaCon. Okie dokie. First trailer for Gran Turismo shows the journey from gaming to real life, and will star Archie. I don't know who these people are. I'm not even Archie Adekwe and Jan. I'm going to assume this is Jan Mardenborough. And these are people who are, and this is the premise of the Gran Turismo game. Is like people who played Gran Turismo and then became race car drivers. Because this Archie Madikwe plays Jan Martinborough, a real-life Gran Turismo player who won a series of gaming competitions and became an actual professional race car driver. David Harbour and Orlando Bloom are also involved, but a lot of footage of racing, and it looked like the people who are doing this article said that they felt it was very much like Top Gun with race cars. So that's
kind of cool.
That's high praise.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Kraven the Hunter will be Sony's first rated R Marvel movie. And in a pre-recorded greeting, Kraven the Hunter star Aaron Taylor Johnson revealed the upcoming film will become the first R-rated Marvel Sony movie. And it has a tentative release date of October 6, 2023, and has a tentative release date for streaming services of October 7th, because nobody's going to fucking see this movie.
No.
That
nobody will.
14 minutes of Across the Spider-Verse was shown. Focused on Miles, his parents, and Gwen. I don't need to see anything. I'm sold on that.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
good.
Yep.
I'm on media blackout with Spider-Verse, but it does arrive on June 2nd, 2023. And it looks to take place about 1 year after the original film. So I'm going to have to squeeze in a viewing of Spider-Verse sometime in May. Ridley Scott's Napoleon showcases an epic battle scene starring Joaquin Phoenix. Ridley Scott is like the most talented director who I just don't give a shit about. Other than maybe, I guess, James Cameron and his catalog of 5 movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ridley Scott, Alien, some little indie film called Gladiator.
Yeah.
Some others.
I think I'm in the same boat. They're like, he's obviously good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Yeah. He's kind of a bitch too. Like, he whines about Marvel stuff, and it's like, what was that? The Last Night? Was that him?
Yeah, that was him.
Was that the movie with Matt Damon? And had just horrible haircuts.
It was really bad.
And it was
whatever it was, it looked bad.
It was him and Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Adam Driver.
Yeah. Right. That's what I said. Kylo Ren. Yeah, it looked boring, and their haircuts were ridiculous. Ghostbusters Afterlife cast reunite in New York to discuss the sequel, which we don't know anything about. But there was we already knew there were some images, some footages from the set. We knew that the iconic Ghostbusters firehouse would be part of it. And we saw the cast: Finn Wolfhard, Carrie Coon, Paul Rudd, and the very talented McKenna Grace in their Ghostbusters uniform leading on Ecto 1. So that's fun. Denzel Washington, Lifetime Achievement Award, and the first trailer for The Equalizer 3. Have you ever seen either of the first two?
I saw the first one. It's good.
Good?
Yeah. Yeah, it's entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be disappointed after watching. I never saw 2. I don't know why. I just haven't. I will, though. I like the first one.
What's your favorite Denzel movie?
Wow. Training Day.
What do you go, Man on Fire?
That's really good too.
Is that Tony Scott?
Yeah.
Is Man on Fire, Tony Scott?
Yeah. Yeah. And she's gonna be in it. The girl, what's her face? That's in
Dakota.
Yeah, she's in
this one, Equalizer
3.
Yeah, Tony Scott. Tony Scott, very underrated director. What we're talking about there.
Yes. I love.
You're also very underrated director, Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
Who directed the Batman, but also the Planet of the Apes, the most recent trilogy. Tony Scott, known for True Romance, which is a fucking phenomenal film if you haven't seen it.
Great movie.
So good.
Oh, so good.
So good. Wow. Yeah, it's
we watched it 6 months ago because Jay had never seen it.
Yeah, it's really good. It was written by Tarantino, so yeah.
If you like Tarantino, which you should, because if you don't, you suck.
Right. Right. Enemy of the State, The Fan, Crimson Tide, True Romance, The Last Boy Scout, Days of Thunder.
All great movies.
Days of Thunder.
Literally all great movies.
Yeah, Top Gun. He was the director of the original Top Gun, Tony Scott. So, yeah, very, very good, criminally underrated director, but he will have something to do with... Why did I even bring him up? Oh, Man on Fire, directed Man on Fire.
Man on Fire, yeah.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence share news from the set of Bad Boys 4, and Martin Lawrence is still recovering from the slap.
As Martin Lawrence recovering from it?
Because Will Smith slapped him. Because that's what Will Smith does. He slaps people.
Chris Rock was the one that got slapped.
Yeah, but Will Smith slaps people.
So you just assume that he slapped Martin Lawrence at one point?
Yeah. Recently, most likely. Here's the thing.
Will
Smith never, like, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock will never not be funny to me.
Oh, no, I agree.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
It's really funny.
It's not, and like the things he was demeaned. It's the same thing I was talking about earlier. You know, stop acting like a victim, everybody. I'll tell you who the victim was. Our ears, because the joke wasn't any good.
No, the joke
was a bad joke. And he got slapped for it. The punishment didn't fit the crime. Anyway, Jesus Christ, this next one. A movie called Dumb Money that's being made by GameStop.
Wait, it's about GameStop, right? Like,
oh yeah. Okay, I'm reading it now. It's like the whole Game Songs thing.
Yeah.
Paul Dano stars as this blue collar YouTuber named Keith, who put his entire life savings into GameStop. The footage introducing the characters and the situation the film is based off of. Joining Dano is pretty good cast. Seth Rogen, Clancy Brown, Shailene Woodley, Sebastian Stan, Nick Offerman, Vincent D'Onofrio, America Ferrera, and more. That's a good cast.
That's a good cast. Yeah,
very good cast. Then there was like an Insidious movie. We're not horror guys, so whatever. But if you're into that, there was a trailer, I think, and it's July 7th. No Hard Feelings, which is a film starring Jennifer Lawrence and Andrew Feldman. Got a trailer. So there's that. And that. So obviously we're on Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And if like the race sequences in Gran Turismo sound like that's high praise, saying Top Gun with cars.
I will say I wasn't sure about that movie until what the premise is, which I think the premise is really cool.
Yeah, instead of it just being like a racing movie, basically called
right. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be very cool.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure there will be like available trailers soon or whatever. There's this is not connected to this, but there was an image of Anthony Mackie in the car because he's the star of the Twisted Metal TV series, and I was like, this is so fucking unnecessary. It's like, listen,
right.
The Last of Us worked because the game is very cinematic to begin with. And like, I think God of War will be just fine. And the Uncharted movie is better than expected.
And the Resident Evil movies do well too.
Well, they're not good though.
But
they do well in terms of sales, sure. Right. But I mean in terms of quality.
Oh, okay.
Uncharted was way better than expected. The Last of Us was excellent, obviously. I think God of War will be just fine. Do you know what we don't need? We don't need a movie about a clown who drives an ice cream truck and just runs into other cars and makes them explode. That's ridiculous.
I don't need a movie about a... Yeah, I don't need a movie about a clown unless it's the Clown Prince Joker. That's the only time I give a shit about a clown.
Right.
Because otherwise clowns are weird and creepy. And that also is the same about the Joker, which is why he's clown.
If so,
weird and creepy.
Right.
Clowns are weird.
So before we wrap this up, we wanted to give for our sixth topic here. So
yeah,
we wanted to talk about the one-man bandwagon.
Hell yeah.
Now that my Cleveland Cavaliers are out, they've been ousted by the New York Knicks, and I don't really want to talk about it. What I do want to talk about is Jimmy fucking Butler. The one-man wrecking crew.
We are both
big Jimmy Butler. Yes.
We love a J-Bud.
Yeah.
And
I feel like there's got to be something better than, I don't like that.
It's J-Bud. It's only J-Bud. So I know, I've had a couple of people like, oh, you're a Laker fan. It's like, I'm not really a Laker fan. I like LeBron.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching him play basketball because he's one of the greatest basketball players ever.
Yeah.
You could argue one, you could argue two.
Well, let's just not.
But no, what I'm saying.
He's no lower than two. Yeah.
This is going to my point.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy Butler averaged 35 points, 5 assists, and 5. I would say more than,
oh, yeah.
That's like the thing. So he averaged at least 35 points, at least 5 rebounds, and at least 5 assists, while also shooting higher than 55% in a series. There's only 2 other people that have ever done it.
Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Yeah.
I love Jimmy Butler.
How many assists?
What is it?
Over 4.
Over 5.
No, he didn't average over 5, though. He had 4.8 for the series.
It was so sweet. There was a thing we needed dropped because of the last game.
Here's the thing. 37.6 points, 6 rebounds, 4.8 assists on 67.1 true shooting.
There was something else about that, too, where he still was in the category. That was before the game, so I thought he would still keep that 5. But regardless, it's close to 5. So Still amazing. But this is the thing that I love about Jimmy Butler. As much as I love Steph Curry, and honestly, Steph Curry is probably my favorite modern era player. I love Steph Curry. I would watch Steph Curry do just about anything because I think he's probably cool at doing everything. He's a scratch golfer. He's obviously an amazing basketball player. His wife is a good cook, so he's probably a decent sous chef. Jimmy Butler I don't ever say this. I literally never say this. He got that dog in him.
Yes.
And there's a chance that maybe dogs actually have the Jimmy Butler in them.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me to watch him play because he's not a 3-point guy. He'll hit a 3.
Yeah, he'll hit them. Yeah, but he's a mid-range. He's more of a mid-range.
He's a mid-range, but he's crafty. There's nothing about Jimmy Butler that makes him, oh my God, this freak athlete.
No.
He had a dunk, wide open dunk, and every other player in the league that can dunk throws a windmill. And he's I gotta put it over my head and dunk it. That's as far as he can go. He's not winning a dunk contest against a high school kid. He just isn't, But, oh my God. And he also plays defense, which I love.
Yeah.
Even though I don't play defense, I respect when people do. He is creeping in to now top 10 best players ever.
Right, but favorite
player.
Yeah.
He's in that realm because this is what I was thinking. If you had one game and all the other 4 players are exactly the same, who is that person that fills that fit? You have every other position and you have one guy you got to fill. And you're just obviously LeBron's in that discussion. Obviously Steph's in that discussion. Johnson is in that. And then it's where do you go after that? I mean, you can say Jokic, 2-time MVP. Embiid, Embiid's record's here and there, but Jimmy's in that discussion now. He's been in that discussion, but he is an absolute just force. He just is. I love him. I just
he's a competitor. That's the thing.
If you told me to do something, I would do it. I would just do it. I'd be sure, yep, I'll do it. Thank you.
I think the thing that separates Jimmy Butler from a lot of the other guys you mentioned is that Miami was down 16 to start the fourth, and it was the highest or the largest deficit for a team to come back and clinch a playoff series. I love LeBron. He was the focal point of one of my teams winning the only championship that I've ever experienced as a fan. I love LeBron, but I've seen LeBron in playoff games be like, "Oh, we're down 16 to start the fourth. I'm just coasting." You know what I mean?
Next game.
Yeah. I've seen Steph just everybody talks about like the block, the shot, and the stop in Game 7 in 2016. You had the chase down block, you had Kyrie's shot, and you have Kevin Love playing the best 10 seconds of defense of his entire life on Steph Curry to force a bad shot. I actually think the tide turned in that game with about 4 minutes left when Steph Curry just threw a behind the back pass into the second row of the stands for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
There is no quit in Jimmy Butler. He's going to play the same if they're down 5 or they're down 50.
Yep.
And I think that's
the game.
He is relentless. Yeah. He's a relentless competitor. And so, like, realistically, you say, like, okay, if you have your 4 guys set, you could pick one guy right now. I'm picking Jimmy Butler because regardless of this game situation, he is relentless. He is absolutely relentless. I'm going to tell you something. That team is not good outside of him. Like Tyler Herro's hurt, right? I mean,
Tyler's out. Yeah.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo's it's like almost like a reverse thing where Bam Adebayo plays like a Hall of Famer until the last 2 months of the season, and Jimmy doesn't play hard until after the All-Star break. And then
give it to me.
And Kyle Lowry is ancient at this point, and like you look at that team, Duncan Robinson is just like he's there.
I mean, he was benched, and now he's back to filling for Tyler Hero, and he's playing well. Yeah, but it's like
some of these guys.
Hell, Jimmy.
Yeah, he wills the mark of a great player, and this is why I will always say that. To me, LeBron is better than other people. You have to be the type of player that makes everyone around you better. And it's not just by being a tyrant and saying, I'm this is how hard I work. Get on my level. Like, that's part of it. But I also think like LeBron has the ability to make others better because he's just got such a gravity to him that people want to be successful. You know what I mean? Kobe and Michael were feared, and that's why people played harder. But I think it's because LeBron is like, people just revere him and they want to be part of it. And I think the thing with Jimmy is it's a healthy mix of both.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's that situation with the Timberwolves where he went on with like the third team and beat the starters, and just like that whole story to me is just legendary.
I love it. I wish I could watch it. I would pay money to see that. I would honestly watch the tape of that. I would pay.
There's no
that's not a lot of money, but I still would do it.
Playoff Jimmy is not a thing, but it's like it is a thing. Billy, he said playoff Jimmy's not a thing. It is. It definitely is a thing. He's another level in the playoffs.
He's the exact opposite of Paul George. I know Paul George was injured, but like Paul George is notorious for not showing up.
Right.
Like he
no offense to
No, but Donovan Mitchell averaged like 35 points in the playoffs before this series. But like, there's this thing where it's just like either you show up or you don't.
Right.
And that's that big thing. Like, he shows up. Yeah, if you lose a series, with Jimmy Butler on your team if not because of Jimmy Butler. It was just everything else didn't work.
I think last year is a perfect example when they pushed Boston to Game 7, and his shot fell short because he was tanked for carrying that team on his back for.
Right. And they're gonna meet up. Maybe there's a chance they can still meet up.
Pretty good chance.
Who's guarding one?
Who's guarding? Who on the Knicks is guarding Jimmy Butler?
No one. Jason Hart's probably the guy that does it, but it's not gonna work. I mean, I like Jason Hart a lot. I like Villanova Light. This is that thing. I wish the Knicks were playing the Cavs because I like the Knicks this year. I have a team I don't root for them. As far as root for the Cavs, but
that
the Knicks are fun.
thing
We'll see what happens. I hope it's Heat Celtics. I hope it is.
Yeah, I made a post. I'm like, I just want, I don't care. I want Jimmy Butler to win. I don't want Miami to win. I want Jimmy Butler.
You want Jimmy Butler to win. I respect this point. I've been that.
Because, and I'll root for the Lakers at this point, too, because I am a LeBron guy. But, if it comes down to, it's highly unlikely. But if it comes down to Miami and the Lakers, I'm rooting for Miami. Because Jimmy
That's
Butler,
a fun thing to think about. That's a fun series to think about.
Yeah, I mean,
that's also a great series to travel to. You're either in LA or you're in Miami,
right? On paper, it's a really good matchup because if Bam plays like he's capable, that's a good matchup with him and AD, and then obviously LeBron and Jimmy. Now the difference there,
Reeves,
the difference there is that Jimmy guards LeBron. LeBron's not going to guard Jimmy. There's no way.
No. 38 years old.
Yeah, he's just a couple. He's only
our age.
3 months younger than me. He's held up better, I will say, LeBron. Yeah, I mean, if I had he puts millions of dollars into his body every year, and I put millions of dollars worth of fast food in my body every year.
The thing is, it's different. We're built different.
Yeah,
we're built different. He was given certain gifts. We were given certain gifts.
Yeah.
I'm small and can't do much athletically.
Right.
But,
I'm fragile.
I can't do much otherwise either. But
yeah.
I don't know what my gifts are. I can talk a lot. I am good at that.
You are good at that.
Yeah.
Yep. Never been left speechless.
No.
All right, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Media recommendations, because we've been going. I expected.
Media recommendations just very quickly is me. Yeah. Pizza Fest this weekend.
Oh, okay.
In LA, check out the gram. We're gonna a lot. We're bringing
at GT Phil's.
Yeah, at GT Phil's. Check it out. A lot of pizza reviews. A lot of probably just insanity too. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. 2 days. It's gonna be 90 probably in LA. Downtown, so it might as well be 120.
Right.
So that day is going to be really hot. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I know a couple people down there, so we'll see what happens there. So LA for a couple days. So me personally, that's your media recommendation. Check it out. And that's it. I mean, I've been reading a really big book, so I haven't been able to get through it as much. But and also just I continue with my hot girl walks, so they're good. Good for the mental.
Hot girl walks?
That's what they call them when you go for a walk. It's what the term is when you go for a walk. You for a walk after school.
I'll give you my media recommendation. There's a 60-minute interview with Nicolas Cage. I got to get out of here. I haven't seen this yet.
Needs to be a full 60 minutes.
I got to go.
All right.
I have plans now.
Is it this Sunday?
No, it was this past Sunday. It's,
Sunday.
Okay. 13 minutes long, so I've got plans for the next 13 minutes and 19 seconds.
Not long enough.
No, that's what she said. I don't really have any media recommendations other than that interview that I'm about to watch. I don't.
Video games. What game comes out Friday?
Oh, the Jedi Survivor. Yeah, the new Jedi game. I have it preloaded, but I'm real close to the Platinum Trophy in Hogwarts, so I probably finish that before I play Jedi.
Nice.
Yeah, but other than that, basketball playoffs, man.
Basketball,
Butler.
and like I said, baseball. I fucking love baseball, man.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler.
It's so good with this clock. I can't believe how good it is.
It's a lot. Yeah.
I heard one person complaining later at the game, and they're saying it's too quick because you can't really enjoy. Like, no, it's awesome.
No, it's
an
great.
awesome experience to be there and see it.
Don't get out of your seat and go to the bathroom and get a hot dog for 30 minutes.
You can, because there's literally 30 TVs everywhere when you go to a baseball.
Yeah, I go to the game to watch the game on the field.
I do too.
Not to watch from the thing, you know.
But if you're not a hardcore fan, get there, sit down. Half before, sit down, have a beer, whatever. Your Pepsi,
helmet nacho.
If you're me, it's a nice Dodger dog.
Yeah,
you know, it's easy. It's an easy fix. Go.
I like to get 2 helmet nachos, one for me and one that I share. One that I share with my wife. So I'm getting 1
2 nachos.
1 3/4 of a nacho. I can't wait to have some fucking ballpark nachos.
You know what? This is just one other media recommendation. Soft serve in a baseball.
Oh, shit, did I hear better?
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
Why is soft serve better in a baseball game?
It's not.
Oh, you don't think so? I think it is better.
No, it's not. Believe me.
Like, not that
if anyone would know,
it would be not at your local, at your like really distinct local place, but like it's better than big time soft serve. It's like that middle ground soft serve. That it's better.
What's big time soft serve? Don't say McDonald's, because the shit's
not. No, McDonald's. No.
Like Dairy Queen.
Like Dairy Queen. I think like if just
I'd rather have Dairy Queen cone. Well, nobody gets a straight Dairy Queen cone. Well, like, I'll tell you who gets it. 5-year-olds.
Sure.
That's it. End of list.
I'm sure. It's probably just the thrill. It's like a hot dog very.
Well, if you get in a little mini helmet, then that's...
Yeah, right. That's cute. And you get the helmet.
Right. All right, let's get out of here. BXG Productions, YouTube, podcasts, Substack sometimes. Social media at BXG Productions, at GT Phils, at
Donut Guy.
Yeah, Alpha Donut Guy, or like fascist Nazi sympathizer. Nah, I'm kidding.
I hope not. I hope not.
Joke.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow. Holy cow.
God, that's so I'm talking about. Nobody can take a chance.
I'm so offended, Brendan. How dare you?
You'll get over it.
Well, I'm going to write a think piece about this.
Oh, God. Think piece.
My mental struggle with Brendan.
Let me show you my think piece.
That's what she said.
That will get canceled. We'll definitely get canceled for that. And possibly arrested.
If they could see it.
Touche, turtle. All right, take care.
That's call it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Go on, man. Got him.
All
right. Take care. Goodbye. Thanks. Have a great day. I don't know what that means.